Good. All right. So let's get going with our warm up. So let's go on the ground on your back. We'll start with some neck rolls. So all the way around, big circles. You can do this sitting up if you want to. But we'll go 10 times each way. Go through that as wide of a range of motion as you can. All right, then we'll switch. We'll do it the other way. So we'll go 10 the opposite way. Oops. There we go. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of difficulties on this end. Okay, so 10 circles. We already went clockwise. Now we're going counterclockwise. Couple more. Okay, next we'll do some shoulder rolls backwards. Again, you could do this either lying on the ground or sitting up right here. We're going up, back, and down with those shoulder rolls. Some of the other stuff that we sent out in the recent newsletter was talking about Gail's mat Pilates class that she's going to be doing on Mondays. And also Rebecca, our other PT, she's also been doing her exercise classes on Wednesdays. So if you guys are interested in any of that to go along with this, just let me know and I can have them send you a link for that. So we're doing 20 shoulder rolls. Up, back, and down. Okay. All right, and then let's go on to the back. Single knee to chest. So one leg at a time. Bring it up. All the way up and then switch. Getting a little bit of movement in that low back, getting those hips moving. And that squeeze through there. We'll do 20 of these, so 10 on each leg. Lots of reps. Ten more on each, or 10 more total, 5 more on each leg. We're just bringing it up as far as you can, rocking into that, and bringing it down. Two more. All right, next we're going to do some chin tucks. So wooden rod, imagine a wooden rod going through each ear right here. That's going to be your pivot point. All you're doing is you're just tucking your chin down, kind of like you're nodding yes, and activating your deep cervical neck flexors. We're just going to bring that chin down, do a little bit of a chin tuck and hold for about 3 to 5 seconds. we'll do 10 of these. Let you guys finish those up. Should be pretty close to 10. Those 3-second holds. Next, we'll take out lacrosse ball, baseball, softball, whatever you got, and we're going to put it, we'll start on the right side. Put it right underneath that suboccipital muscle. So find the base of the occiput, which is the bony part in the back of your skull, right through there. You're going to come just about 1 finger down and 1 finger to the outside and push right there, and you'll feel that muscle. It'll probably be a little tender when you push on it. You're going to put the ball right in that spot. And we're going to do 10 shin tucks now with the ball right there. Start with the right side. Same thing, 3-second hold. This will be a little tender if it's tight. Mine is tender. Again, we're just nodding. It's like you're nodding yes, just a small movement up and down. We're going to do 10 of those, and then we'll switch. Should be at about 10 right there. We're going to do the same thing, just switch it over to the left side, get it right in those suboccipital muscles. We're doing an active release of those. Getting that lacrosse ball in there, and then just doing that little tiny chin tuck. Same thing, 10 with a 3-second hold. Should have a couple left. Okay, let you finish those up. Next, we're going to do a starfish. So it's going to be the shoulder circles. So people call them like snow angels, floor angels. Just going to take one hand at a time. Make sure that you're trying to keep your hand touching the whole time. So hand flat against the ground, touching the whole time as you come up. Once you get to the point to where your shoulder wants to come off the ground, because you have to rotate. So rotate your hand in the internal rotation as you come over the top, all the way around, touching the whole time. Touch the shoulder, and then bring it back around. Keep it touching the whole time. We'll do 5 of those, and then we'll switch and we'll do 5 on the other side. Rotate at the top, keep it touching around. Three more. Just getting that scapula moving, getting all those muscles in the shoulders moving. Let's do one more after this one. All right, one more, or sorry, other side, touching the whole time, rotate all the way around. to that opposite shoulder, touch, get back around. Do 2 more after this one. Actually doing 6 on each side, but it's okay. Call this the last one. All right, and then from there, let's rotate onto hands and knees. And we'll do some cat-cow. So we're gonna do 2 different movements. We're gonna do the scared cat, which is pushing that thoracic spine up towards the ceiling. Angle this a little better. So pushing thoracic spine up toward the ceiling, doing a little bit of a posterior pelvic tilt, so tucking the tail in, imaginary tail in, holding that for a few seconds. Let everything relax, create a little bit of an arch in that back, butt out. Then we'll go back into the scared cat. So we'll go back and forth. Get that spine flexing and extending. We'll do 10 of these. At the bottom, try to let your shoulder blades just kind of sink down. Take a nice deep breath before you get going into the next breath. We'll do 4 more. Last one. Okay, next we'll do the threading the needle. So on the hands and knees right here, hands straight underneath your shoulders. Reach under, let me get so you can see me. Reach under with that hand and rotate through that thoracic spine. Bring it up and rotate back through again. We'll do 10 each way. Should be feeling this in your upper back. If you're doing it right, really reaching through. One more, and then we'll switch. Okay, so we'll switch. I'm just going to change direction so you don't have to. So reaching through, rotate down and through. do 5 more. One more. Good. Okay. Next one we can do sitting up. Hands in that prayer position. Right here. Bring your hands down and your elbows down just a bit. Pinkies out. And I want you to just rotate back. So elbows are kind of going on an arc behind you. If you had unlimited range of motion, you'd be able to touch your elbows straight behind you on your midline. So pinkies out, squeeze back as far as you can, and then back in. Squeeze those shoulder blades down and back. Just work through that range right there, getting the muscle activation in the back right through here. We'll do 10 of these. Let's do 2 more. Good. Let's finish those up. The next one's going to be a new one, so we'll take a little time to explain it. Called pelvic clocks. So we're working on mobility, but I want you to think about a clock sitting right here on your pelvis. Okay, so 12 o'clock is towards the head, 6 o'clock is towards the groin. Okay, so we've already done 12 to 6 with posterior and anterior pelvic tilting. So we could start with that. 12 o'clock, so you're going to roll your hips towards 12, which is that posterior pelvic tilt. So you're flattening that lower back against the ground, rolling the hips back that way towards 12, and then we'll roll towards 6, which is going to create that arch going into an anterior pelvic tilt. We'll just go back and forth. We're going to do about 5 each way. The next 2 are going to be a little more difficult. It'll take a little bit of time to kind of get the coordination down with it, just because it's something new. So we're just going back and forth, 12 to 6. Let's do 1 more each way. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go towards 1 o'clock, which is towards your left ASIS, so the bony part of your hip, or you're going towards your shoulder area is what I want you to think about. So I want you to think about rocking your hips up and towards the shoulder. And then when you go down, you're going to go down towards your right foot. So you're going to rock them down and out. So up and out, down and out. So it's going to feel a little different. Back and forth, we'll do 5 each way. And then we'll do the opposite. We'll do 11 o'clock and 7 o'clock. Or no, 11 and 5, sorry. 1 and 7, 11 and 5. One more each way. Okay, Next, we'll do that 11 and 5. So rolling up and out towards the right shoulder, down and out towards the left foot. While you're doing this, you're probably going to get a little bit of core activation too, just because you need that motor control to be able to do these movements. Might feel a little shaking in the core while you do it, because those core muscles are trying to figure out that motor, that movement, that muscle movement to make that move happen, because it's just not used to doing it. Let's do one more each way. Good. Okay, so those were pelvic clocks. We did 12 to 6, we did 11 to 5, and we did 1 to 7. Okay, and that was 5 each. Okay, so next what we'll do, we'll bring both knees up. We'll do double knees of chest, and then I want to get that little bit of lumbar flexion again. We'll bring those up and bring it up as far as you can so your lumbar spine comes off the ground just a little bit, and then we'll do a little crunch into it. So lumbar spine is going to stay off the ground, and we're just going to do mini crunches to where we feel our spine going into a little more flexion. And we'll do 10 of these, nice and slow. Keep going with those. Finish up those 10. Should have a few more. Let's do 2 more. Good. Okay. Next, let's go into a piriformis stretch. So you'll be on your back. You're going to take one knee at a time, grab the top of that knee, and you're going to pull it towards the opposite shoulder. So right now my left knee is going towards my right shoulder, over across the body, get that piriformis and glute stretching. Done this one a few times. This is one of my favorites. Do a 30-second hold, and then we'll switch. We'll do a 30-second hold to the other side. If you notice that you have a bunch of piriformis tightness though, or glute tightness, it's better to hold these stretches for like 1.5 to 2 minutes at home. All right, let's switch. Grab that right leg, pull it up and over towards the opposite shoulder, so towards the left shoulder. You should feel that stretch through the glutes or through that piriformis muscle. Keep holding that. About 10 more seconds. Okay, now for the not so fun one, but very effective. Lacrosse ball on the piriformis. So find PSIS, which is the bony part in the back of the hip. Then find the bony part on the side of the hip. Draw a line in between those. That's going to be your target spot for the lacrosse ball. That's where your piriformis runs. So you're going to put that ball on that piriformis, cross the knee over, And then you're just gonna kind of lean onto that ball, search around for those trigger points. So if it hurts, you're probably in the right spot. If you're getting any weird like nerve pain going down your leg, don't go on that spot. Get away from that. I want you to just kind of roll back and forth for about 20, 30 seconds. Up and down, side to side, just find those tight spots and just kind of work through it. That burns. And then what I want you to do is 10 knee raises while you're on that spot. This is just going to do a little more of an active release of that muscle. Do 10, and then we'll switch, and we'll do the other side. Okay. Switch, let's do the other side. Cross that leg over. Bony part in the back of the hip, PSIS, and greater trochanter, so the bony part on the side of the hip. Find that halfway in between spot, cross the leg over, and then lean kind of back and into that until you feel that. Same thing, 30 seconds of rolling at home. Sounds like torture, but I'll do this for like 2 to 3 minutes while I'm watching TV on the ground. If my back's really hurting or if I'm having some sciatic nerve issues, I'll always check this spot just because it's usually a culprit for me. Same thing, up and down, side to side. And then in a little bit, we'll do those 10 active knee movements. Okay, let's do those 10 knee raises. Good. Okay, then you can put that ball down. We're not going to use that again for the rest of this. Okay, so the next two, we're going to go on our stomachs. I want to work on a little bit of hip extension and some active hip flexion. So we'll go on the stomach here. I want you to go knee up or foot up like that, knee bent. And you can lay with your head in your hands right here, just so that you're nice and relaxed. And I want you to push your heel up towards the ceiling. And I want you to push as high as you can without having your lower back, so your lumbar spine extending back and trying to compensate. So try to keep all the movement coming from the hip. We're working on pure hip extension. Make sure your knee's not flared way out. It's in a straight line. So your hip, knee, and ankle are all in a straight line. You're just lifting up as high as you can without feeling it in the back. Might not be very much. Your hip extension might be 0 degrees, which is here, laying flat. So we're just trying to stretch into that just a little bit. We'll do about 15 of these kicks, and then we'll switch and do 15 on the other side. Try to squeeze that glute muscle, that big glute max muscle, right back in here as you do that. Let's do 3 more. Good. And then we'll switch. Knee up, foot. It's like you're trying to make a footprint on the ceiling. kicking up. 15 more here. My left side is way tighter than my right. I'm not going up hardly at all. That could be from a motor control issue. I might have weak glute muscles, or my hip capsule muscle tightness, something like that might be restricting it too. To me, it kind of feels more like glute weakness, honestly. Let's do a few more. Okay. Take a deep breath. Okay, so next we'll stay on our stomach. We're going to work on the flexion and the abduction. So it's just bringing one knee at a time up. As far as you can, you're trying to knee yourself in your ribs without rotating your spine. Keeping all the movement coming from the hips. We'll do 10 of these, and then we'll switch. All right, let's switch. 10 the other way. Couple more. Nice and easy. Push back up. All the hands and knees. Okay, how are we doing? Okay, I got one more for us. So might be fitting to end with the so-called world's greatest stretch. It always cracks me up to say that. So good hip flexor combo stretch. So we'll make sure you have something under your knee for a little padding. But you're gonna go into a little bit of hip extension, so knee behind, like that. And I want you to go hand, so elbow on, so right elbow on your left knee. And then I want you to open up as far as you can that way. And then we'll hit this way as well. So we'll do both directions with this. Opening. So we're hitting a lot of things at once. We're hitting the hips, hip rotators, we're hitting thoracic spine, we're hitting the hip flexors. We'll do about 5 of these and we'll switch. We're not going to do a hold, just going to go through as much of a range of motion as we can. Let's do one more on each side. Good. Okay, and switch. Each time you can kind of rock back if you need to. Readjust, reset, open, and then down, open the opposite way. Reset, readjust, and open. This is number 3. We're going to do 5. Last one. Good. Okay, so that will be it. So since this is the last one, I wanted to make sure, well, last one of this round, I wanted to make sure if anybody had any questions, we answer any questions. If not, thanks for joining the class. It's been awesome the last 6 weeks. If you have any questions moving forward, just shoot me an email. Okay, does anybody have any questions or comments, concerns, what they liked, anything like that?